Hey, good evening. I thought I'd share some of my antique and vintage presidential campaign memorabilia with you. Um, I think it's fun to see how things have evolved over the years. In my opinion, they don't put out nearly as fun of stuff as they used to with the elections. So, my oldest item, I'll share with you first, is my Abraham Lincoln token. Of course, that's the beardless Abraham Lincoln as he was running in 1860. And I call this a token because it's not really a pin where it was, placed on your clothing. There's a hole in, of course, the hoop at the top that would have been attached to your clothing, maybe with a ribbon. So that's why I placed the ribbon in there. The ribbons, an addition that I added. And then, of course, on the reverse, hopefully the ribbon doesn't hide the image, but his running mate at the time, Hannibal Hamlin's on the reverse side. And this photography that's on these tokens um, is what's referred to as a ferrotype, which is really similar to a tintype. It's a metal image coated, and they do scratch easily, so I was tickled to get that one in such nice shape. One of my other earlier um, pins here is this with William McKinley and his running mate. At the time, there was um, the debate over the currency, and so the Republicans were for the gold standard, and so these gold buttons came out um, to represent the Republican Party. The wings actually fold down into the bug, and you push the button there, and the two images pop out. So that's really a fun item. And those images are just paper, so it's hard to find those in good condition too because they do scratch easily. Another item that I'll have lots of favorites here, but this is another favorite. This is an earlier one too from 1908, which features William Jennings Bryan, and this cup and saucer was produced by a pottery um, named Rob Pottery. They were located originally in Cedar Falls. And then his son, William, started a pottery in Waterloo. So this was actually produced in Waterloo. And William Jennings Bryan spoke at the Chautauqua in Waterloo. So I'm guessing that probably was produced at that time. I actually found this at a garage sale in Waterloo. You can believe that. There's his image there. Um, there's the marking there of the Rob Pottery, Waterloo, Iowa. And then so I found the cup at a garage sale, and then maybe 10 years later I found the saucer on Craigslist. I think it was LaPorte City even. A little bit different color um, pottery, but they go together, obviously. William Jennings Bryan. And what else do I have here? I don't remember I mentioned my Teddy Roosevelt button yet, but that's um, on the bear, of course, because the story goes that he wouldn't shoot the bear cub on a hunting trip. This is a little bit different item here. Instead of a button, this is actually a little pocket mirror, which is fun. Made out of celluloid. Here's an early photo. I don't know where I got this, but this is a real photo postcard showing Teddy Roosevelt waving on a train. I'm sure that's when he ran with the Bull Moose Party. He was a third party candidate that year. This is also another piece from that election as well. And this is one of the first things that we found. I say we, my grandma and I, we're always looking for this kind of stuff. And this is actually a clothing button. It would be sewn onto an article of clothing instead of attached with a pin. Here's a National Republican ticket for local um, offices, and a leather postcard, which you can see on the back. It is actually a postcard that could be mailed. And these are other early buttons here. A lot of these are Civil War because I collect Civil War memorabilia, or and newer buttons as well with images. But this is an early campaign button, so is this of William Jennings Bryan. Oh, and this is a fun item too. Of course, JFK is known for his affinity for rocking chairs, so this was produced probably for the 1964 election. And so that has a flasher in the back, which of course means that you have two different images when you tilt it. So that's a fun little piece. And I like the figural buttons, like this Goldwater button with his black rim glasses that he was known for. The Donkey 56. These 8-ball buttons, I had a bag of them. Oh my gosh, I must have had 10 of them. I picked them at a garage sale. I had a feeling that it was presidential related, and by God they were. I just kept a couple of them, but they the slogan was to 8-ball Harry Truman out of office. So after a little research, I figured that one out. And this is fun that has a little adult sunflower behind it. That's another one of my early pieces that I collected, Herbert Hoover. And then my Kennedy items. I have a affinity for Kennedy things. That's a fun one. And that's a huge button for the time. Usually they're much smaller. They got bigger over the years for whatever reason. This is an early piece too. I don't know anything about this guy, but obviously he ran for president. So I need to do more research on that. The research is fun. This is another flasher of Kennedy and a governor that was running locally at the same time in 1960. And I won't get into my more recent stuff because I know it's a hot subject for a lot of people, but these are my more recent buttons. This is one of my favorites. My grandma and grandpa had that in their collection. And this item here is kind of unusual because McGovern had picked Eagleton as his running mate. Then they found out that got into the press that he was taking electric shock therapy, and they dropped Eagleton from the ticket. But those buttons were produced before that happened. So these are more recent buttons. I've actually never seen another Powell. I'm sure you get online, you see them. You know, that's the thing when I first started collecting. What you consider rare, because you had to run into it in person, or at an auction or a show or a sale. But now, of course, you get online and things aren't as scarce as what you might have thought they were originally. So that's a few things that I've collected. I have more, but I just thought I'd get out some of my highlights and share them with you. And then over here, I'll show some of my books. When you get interested in a subject, it's always nice to be knowledgeable. And so I collect reference books as well that have to do with the things I collect. And this is my favorite book. Now, back in the day, when I first started collecting, and they probably still have a good selection there, but the Warren Public Library, I know for sure they had this book. I got this online later. But this shows just some great stuff that they produced over the years for different campaigns. Fun lithographic plates with great lithography. This is a great book too. This one I just found at a thrift shop in Decorah for a whole quarter. I was tickled. And it's like, I've never even seen this book. That goes back to Washington even. But transferware that they even produced. Can you believe that? Dishes. It's nice ribbons. There's different things. That's another good book too. So anyway, that's a little bit of what I collect with presidential campaign memorabilia. I have other presidential stuff too. Maybe I'll do another video sometime. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to get out and vote. Bye.